to delivering on his pre-election pledges and will not be distracted.
And as Weekly Focus reports, the remarks by the head of state come amidst a growing list of aspirants eyeing the country's top seat in the next general poll.
The president's Monday itinerary began in Rongo, where he inspected the ongoing construction of a modern market before unveiling a new building at Rongo Comprehensive School. Similar market construction works are ongoing in Awendo and Nyatike.
Tumewapatia shilingi 1.9 billion ya watu wa Migori. Tuunganishie watu ama familia ama manyumba 18,000 mpya.
He will then launch the construction of Muhuru Bay.
Ujenzi wa Muhuru Bay.
During the tour, President Ruto took on his political opponents, challenging them to drive agenda-based politics.
Kuna watu wengine wanataka kutuelekeza kwa mambo ya siasa. Wanaelekeza sisi kwa mambo ya chuki. Wanatuletea migawanyiko, wanatuletea ukabila. Mimi nataka niwaambie hawa viongozi tulizeni boli, tuko na kazi ya kufanya kwanza.
The head of state further drummed up support for a holistic and unified governance under the broad-based arrangement, an appeal echoed by the accompanying area leaders.
Mimi nilikubaliana na baba. Tukasema tuunganishe Kenya. Tukasema tuangamize mambo ya ubaguzi. Tuondoe mambo ya ukabila. Tuondoe mambo ya chuki.
Kama watu wa Migori na kama watu wa Nyanza, we have gotten road deals in other people. We supported one government for 5 years. They never gave us anything. You have given us everything. When we did not support you, now we will support you and stand with you as a people. Kuna marafiki wengine wa bandia, lakini huyu Ruto ni rafiki yetu wa kweli.
The president also told the youth to utilize the internet constructively to benefit from the growing digital economy.
Sasa nyinyi vijana wa hapa Rongo, nataka munisikize makini bwana. Sawa sawa. Wewe anza kupangana na mjumbe wako. Uulize wapi ICT hub yetu ya ward fulani. Kwa sababu tunataka wewe uende ufanye kazi hapo, ufinye kompyuta, uweke pesa kwa mfuko.
For Prime Edition from Migori County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Here now is the update on that Sir Charles murder. The government chief pathologist Johansen Odur has affirmed that chances of the late Kasipul MP Charles Owino surviving Wednesday night incidents were minimal.
And the reason is after the autopsy was conducted by Odur, it revealed that the late lawmaker was shot, believe it or not, 5 times, with bullets lodged into his body, affecting all his vital organs.
And as Abdi Aziz Hashim now reports, the 4 suspects believed to be behind the incident will remain in police custody for the next 30 days, with DCI still on the hunt for more suspects believed to be involved.
Family, friends and lawmakers converged at the Lee Funeral Home, where the body of the late Kasipul Member of Parliament Charles Owino is preserved, following an autopsy conducted on Monday.
Postmortem process of the body of the late Muchuma Charles Owino.
The government chief pathologist Johansen Odur confirmed that the legislator was shot 5 times that fateful day.
There were 2 entry gunshot wounds on the left forearm, with 1 bullet lodged in the same forearm. 1 exited. There was also 2 entry bullet wounds on the left side of the chest, with an exit on the right side, but 1 lodged in the spine. Then there was a bullet track on the back, with the entry on the left side of the upper back.
With his vital organs badly affected, the lawmaker lost a lot of blood before reaching the Nairobi hospital, where he was pronounced dead upon arrival.
The bullet had lodged on the left side of the upper back, which we took the samples for analysis, ballistics. Further to that, we found that there were multiple internal injuries in the vital organs. We saw that the bullet tracked through the heart, the lungs, the liver, and the aorta, meaning that the late Muchuma could not survive the injuries caused by the gunshot. No, other than the injuries caused by the bullets, we didn't see any other injury at all.
This has 4 suspects now identified as William Ilmoi, Juma Ali Haikai, Douglas Washiri Wambogo, and David Kagame, believed to be behind the incident, were arraigned at the JKI law courts. Investigators in his case have since established that the lawmaker, who left Parliament minutes to 7 p.m, was being followed by another vehicle and a motorcycle before he was shot at the city mortuary roundabout. Through investigations by the DCI, which entailed mobile phones triangulation and preliminary accounts by witnesses corroborated by the CCTV footage of the area, the 4 were apprehended on Sunday at 2 a.m. 3 of the suspects were apprehended at the Kasarani area and 1 in Pangani. Among the suspects confirmed was a serving police officer, but is yet to be verified by the National Police Service. During the arrest, sleuths recovered 9 live rounds of ammunition, 8 tear gas canisters with no clear documentation, and $4,800. There are also 2 vehicles recovered during the arrest of the said suspects and will be subjected to a further investigations, including DNA testing. The 4 will remain in police custody for the next 1 month, and their case will be mentioned on June 5th.
These perpetrators will be, who have already been arrested, some of them, they will face justice, and it will also bring closure to the fact that these criminals decided to do this thing. And we request that everyone should carry themselves with a lot of decorum so that peace can be maintained.
The lawmaker is expected to be buried on Friday this week at his home in Homa Bay County. Abdiaziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
Of course, we will be following those proceedings during the burial. But let's now go on to a story that most, if not all of you, can remember. 4 senior ranking police officers have been charged in connection with the killing of 6-month-old baby Samantha Pendo that occurred in the great county of Kisumu way back in 2017.
The Director of Public Prosecution approved charges ranging from murder, rape and torture against the 4 officers.
However, 7 other police officers were excluded from the charge sheet. And as Ruth Wamboya reports, the National Police Service has informed the court that the 11th suspect, Mohammed Ba, who's a retired police officer, remains at large, with efforts to locate him at his rural home in Wajir, bearing no fruits.
In a record 30 pages charge sheet for police inspectors John Chingo Masha, Lina Kogei, Cyprian Roby and James Rono sat patiently as the charges were read to them. The 4 officers face charges of murder, rape and crimes against humanity under the International Crimes Act.
The 3rd accused person is not just a responsible citizen this country in the capacity of a police officer, but she is such senior police officer in the capacity of Chief Inspector of Police.
The positions and the roles that the accused persons held that informed the arraignment. It is not in doubt that the accused persons are police officers. And I want to invite the court to consider that position vis-a-vis civilians, victims. We cannot ignore.
The court was informed that under their command, their subordinates stormed civilians' home, allegedly tortured and raped over 20 women.
Court enters plea of not guilty to all the charges in the amended information as read to all the accused persons in English, and they pleaded to each of the counts not guilty.
The victims' lawyers who opposed their release also poked holes on why the charge sheet contained only 4 accused persons, yet the court on January 30th directed all 11 accused persons to take plea.
The victims, in this case, went through horrendous experiences, as described the particulars of the offences. And it will be fair to all parties that an express term restricting any contact whatsoever
But in a quick rejoinder, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution stated that it has reviewed the case in light of new findings, and the DPP has exercised its prosecutorial powers.
The position of the IO is that he is seeking for 7 working days to be able to conduct victim assessment.
The DPP should not be directed to institute criminal charges. The National Commission on Human Rights, equally, we intend to call them as witnesses. They will be very useful witnesses for the state. The IPOA, we shall be calling them as witnesses. They are investigators in this case.
Since the case began in 2022, 10 suspects have been arraigned in court, with 4 of them now formally charged. The 11th accused person, Mohamed Ba, retired police officer, has never been arrested, with NPS stating efforts to locate him at his rural home in Wajir County has so far been unsuccessful.
So between now and the 7 days, I will release you on same terms and on those 5 conditions.
Justice Margaret Muigai has directed the officers to adhere to the guidelines of personal recognizance, with the case set for mention in a week's time.
Tunaona kama tunaweza pata haki ya mtoto wangu. Nimetafuta haki ya mwanangu kutoka mwanzo mpaka sasa, lakini naona kama Mungu anaelekea, anafungua njia. Jo kuchukua tu hiyo plea peke yake ilikuwa ni shida, lakini venye sasa imepatikana, najua tutapata.
Even as the 4 senior police officers have taken a plea of not guilty, the Law Society of Kenya and the victims' lawyers have questioned the rationale that was used by the DPP in excluding the 7 other police officers. Ruth Wamboi reporting from Milimani, Lokot.
We wish Baby Pendo finally gets the justice that she deserves.
Do you remember the Wildcoin story? Was it legit or... what was your thoughts that time? The High Court has directed Wildcoin Foundation to delete within 7 days the iris and facial data collected from Kenyans in 2023.
In her ruling, which was made virtually Monday, Lady Justice Aburili Roslin also ordered the process of deletion of the biometric data to be supervised by the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, ODPC.
In August 2023, thousands of Kenyans thronged the Kenyatta International Convention Center and other various centers to have their data taken by the cryptocurrency company with a promise of 7,000 shillings. Approximately 2 years later, the High Court has declared Wildcoin collection of Kenya's biometric data unconstitutional, citing its failure to conduct a data protection impact assessment. The court ruled that the biometric data should be deleted since Wildcoin failed to register as a data processor. Hence, it conducted an unlawful process using its ORB, a biometric imaging device. While noting that there was lack of informed consent and the use of financial incentives to encourage participants, the court ordered the government to publish clear guidelines on the commercial use of personal data to promote transparency, accountability, and public trust. Joseph Wahungu for Prime Edition.
We have a distressing item here. Grief has engulfed residents of Malinya village in Ikolomani, Kakamega County, following the tragic death of a 38-year-old woman who was burnt to death in her home in an alleged arson attack last night.
According to neighbors, the door to her house was locked from the outside, pointing to possible foul play.
They are now calling on the government to act quickly and bring those responsible to book.
The body has been taken to Kakamega County Referral Hospital mortuary as police continue the probe into the incident.
Mimi nikitoka huwa nashinda na yeye, nimeoleka karibu. Saa kumuona the last minute hakusema kama kuna shida yote amekosana na mtu. Na vile nafahamu vile tumeambiwa siku kwa hiyo usiku, kuna mtu alikuwa anapita tu akaona moto imewaka kwa nyumba. Kwenda kujaribu kuokoa, hawangeweza juu petroli ilikuwa imenyunyiziwa kila mahali. Kwa madirisha, kwa milango, kwa mabati juu, na ilikuwa inalipuka all that kila mahali.
Dada yetu sisi kukuja kumuona hayuko, tunasikia mara amechoma pale hivyo na acid. Mwenyewe waga kosei mtu, haombi mtu, hapigani na mtu. Vipi sasa? Mara tunasikia ni one of his boyfriend. Aje sasa, mbona kamfanyia kitendo kama hiyo? Tunalia, mwenye ni jivu.
Onto a story we teased for you at the beginning of this broadcast, the nationwide public participation exercise that kicked off today on the proposed Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2025, a bill that seeks to enshrine key development funds, including the National Government Constituencies Development Fund, into the Constitution, was met with mixed reactions.
From Ruiru to Busia, Nairobi to Kakamega, the debate has drawn varied reactions right across 47 counties as citizens turned up in large numbers for the 4-day consultation exercise that's set to run, by the way, until Thursday, May the 8th.
Ben Chumba reports.
Across the country, members of parliament are hosting public hearings in all 290 constituencies, seeking feedback on whether to constitutionally anchor the NGCDF, the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, NGAF, and the Senate Oversight Fund. In Westlands, residents supported the kitty, citing significant role it plays in educating the needy in society.
Kuna Wakenya wengine wanafikiria hii pesa ni ya wabunge. Hii pesa si ya wabunge, hii pesa ni yenu nyinyi wananchi, si ndio? Hii pesa ikitolewa hapa itarudishwa national government. Ukitaka basari vile mnakuja kuchukua hapa, you'll go to the Ministry of Education ama mtaenda kwa office of the president.
Tumeona CDF imesaidia vitu mingi sana, si barabara, si mashule, si education, kwa pande zote, hata katika jamii tunaona CDF inatusaidia sana.
So ukisema utoe kwa viongozi ambao walichaguliwa na mwananchi hiyo CDF, which means umeumiza mwananchi wa kawaida kabisa.
In Ruiru, locals rallied in support of the NGCDF, calling it a lifeline for education and rural development.
Mambo mengi yale tumefanya hapa, hasa kimaendeleo na madarasa, kila kitu hapa ni kama ni NGCDF. Ikiondolewa ni kama maendeleo yatarudi nyuma sana.
Hata kiongozi wa gani enzi wenye watakao ingia kwa uongozi, NGCDF isiwahi koma, iendelee na nitatilia mkazo.
Mimi nataka ilipenda sana ipitishwe, iwe sheria na iweke kwa katiba.
In Busia, however, opinions were sharply divided. While some residents called for the fund to remain under MP's control, others, including Odim youth leader Austin Juma, opposed its inclusion in the constitution, arguing it undermines devolution and misuses public resources.
Sidhani kama ni mwafaka kuleta hii pesa kwa hawa bunge, sababu the constitutional role of elected MPs are very clear: legislation, oversight and representation.
Ingefaa ifanye katika hiyo pesa ni kukuwa na accountability. Tunataka tu hao wabunge wetu wanapopatiwa hii pesa ikikuja katika constituency, isiwe kwamba hao ndio wale watu wenye wanachunguza hii mambo ya pesa mahali penye natakani ifanye ama mahali penye isifanye.
Hii pesa ikienda tutarudi tena msituni kwa giza kama zile miaka za enzi kabla devolution.
Meanwhile, in Kakamega, Member of Parliament Elsie Muhanda praised the impact of both CDF and GAF, highlighting their role in bolstering education and women's empowerment.
Tukiua NGAF, wanabiashara wako hapa. Hivi karibuni nitapeana pesa za groups na hata hazitoshi kila mtu. Saa hii hata niko napeana maumbrella, haitoshi kila mtu. Nitakuwa ninaua matumaini ya wanabiashara.
Hata zikipelekwa mahali pengine, tunadhani watakuwa tu wanaongeza huko corruption. Kwa sababu ukiangalia pesa kama kwa governance, wameshindwa zile pesa mingi ambazo wanapata, wameshindwa kuzifanyia kazi vizuri.
In areas like Embu, Trans Nzoia, Siaya and Wajir, participation began early, with residents expressing a range of views, some embracing the initiative, others demanding greater transparency and oversight. The clerk of the National Assembly confirmed that written submissions can also be sent via email or delivered in person to Parliament, with a final deadline set for June 10th. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.
And that story brings us to our first break here at exactly 21 minutes past the top of the hour. Coming up, a lot more stories, including the cabinet. I wonder who we are featuring on the cabinet.
A former mayor, and this person is also a member of parliament, right, Tom?
Yeah, former member of parliament is one of the longest serving ministers in the Ministry of Tourism. She tells me she won't reveal until when we come back.
But before we take the break, Tom, quick acknowledgements. Evans Wekesa watching KBC Channel 1 from Kericho. Leonard Rotich watching KBC Channel 1 from Eldoret. And Mr. Opicho watching KBC from Nairobi.
Oh, that's good. Keep talking to us. That's the online family. We really appreciate your feedback. At the tail end, of course, we'll sample a lot more of your views. So do stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
They say the art without art would just be, get it? We circumnavigate the globe and traverse the local scene to bring you art and culture at their very best. From fine art, culinary art, performing arts, and even cultural events, you name it, and we have got you covered. My name is Kevin Kasioki, and I will be serving you this and much, much more each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kenya.
Wake up with Good Morning Kenya, the morning show that's got it all.
We dive deep into issues shaping our country.
Youth are a voice of a nation.
What is the next step for the young people?
Unpacking political landscape from Monday to Wednesday.
We discuss family matters.
It is very important to guard your relationship.
And for your health.
Someone doesn't wake up and they become an addict. It's in stages.
We've got you covered each and every Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Every Wednesday, it's all about The Viewpoint.
A day in politics is like 1,000 years.
Unpacking the biggest stories of the week, getting you insights and getting you ready for your day.
And the package is not yet done. I get to fix your Thursday with some entertainment. Entertainment Thursday, it is.
Good morning, Kenya.
We shape your day.
Good morning, Kenya. Every weekday morning on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back to Prime Edition, our socials at KBC Channel 1 on X, YouTube, and Facebook.
And our sign language interpreter,
Anwangeshi.
Moving on, the Ministry of Water and Sanitation is ramping up efforts to fully digitize service delivery as a crucial step towards optimizing operations in that sector.
Water, Sanitation and Irrigation Cabinet Secretary Eric Muriithi says the government is also intensifying efforts to leverage on public-private partnerships to expand smart climate and water financing and improve the country's water sustainability and efficiency.
Here's that report.
According to the Water and Sanitation Providers Association, more than 73% of Kenyans grapple with the challenge of accessing basic water services, with just 31% accessing safely managed sanitation. Speaking during the Water Providers Association Forum in Nairobi, Water, Irrigation and Sanitation Cabinet Secretary Eric Muriithi said the ministry is working towards embracing technology in a bid to enhance water conservation and bridge the inefficiency gaps in delivering the utility.
Technology will make our work easier as water service providers. The issues we are grappling with, especially on Nandevin water, just plugging the leaks, having leak detection systems, because that they are there, will help the agencies curb those losses, increase their revenue, and therefore be able to expand their services, because there will be some more money that was being lost initially.
To expand the financing of smart water and sanitation programs in the country, the ministry further revealed the plans of forging public-private partnerships to secure Kenya's water sustainability.
Financing, we are looking at both private financing, we are looking at blended financing, we are looking at climate financing. The ministry has to position itself in such a way that it will attract these funds so that our Vision 2030, that is provides for access to water and sanitation to all by the year 2030 is fast-tracked, accelerated, and finally achieved.
The CS, while reading a riot act to masquerade as in the sector, noted the government has deployed the relevant measures to curb the escalating non-revenue water cases in the country.
We're also calling upon people who have invested in water theft. This is no time to have those discussions. The water police are in place. The water unit, in every county we have them. We have started crackdowns. I think we did operations in Garissa. We are doing operations in Nairobi. Muranga, we are doing operations in Eldoret, in Kericho. Your days are numbered.
Reducing non-revenue water is a national priority. It's a national priority to improve utility efficiency and also sector bankability. You cannot go into this innovative financing if the sector is not viable.
The forum is a precursor of the Kenya Water and Sanitation International Conference and Exhibition 2025, slated for the 23rd to 27th of June this year in Mombasa.
We have very innovative technologies that will be exhibited. We have innovating financing models, and we're also looking at solutions to the water and sanitation problems we have in our country. We believe through such forums, we'll be able to get as many solutions as we can and move the sector forward.
John Kahiro for Prime Edition.
Let's now take you to Berlin, where Cooperatives Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya says the bottom-up economic model is set to revolutionize various sectors in Kenya, from agriculture to technology.
That's right. While attending the Global Solutions Summit 2025 in Berlin, German, Oparanya, who represented President Ruto, highlighted the government's commitment to enhancing the financial status of youth as well as women entrepreneurs.
The two-day summit focuses on financial inclusion, climate financing, and accelerating access to opportunities by the youth.
Welcome to our stage. We are honored by your presence here.
The government has come up with a startup bill. A startup bill is now going to give guidelines on how these young people can start their business. So it will give clear policies to these enterprises. It will also give a legal legislative framework for the young people who are coming up with small business, how they will access finance, how they will access markets in case of product that they want to sell, how their skills are improved. And in fact, we have come up with entrepreneurship training for all of them, and this entrepreneurship are anchored on few universities.
Asante sana, Your Excellency. And
now we reveal, after the contested 2007 general poll, President Mwai Kibaki appointed the youthful former mayor of Mombasa and the then Mvita member of parliament, Najib Balala.
Balala is credited with reviving the tourism sector. I can acknowledge that, Tom.
Yes.
And he has also the one that has brought itself to knees by the post-election violence.
Now, he would go on to become the longest-serving minister for tourism.
He graces this week's edition of the Cabinet.
"57-year-old Najib Balala began his political career as the mayor of Mombasa between the year 1998 and 1999. Balala plunged into elective politics in the year 2002, winning the Mvita parliamentary seat, defeating former Minister Sharif Nasir. He was re-elected for the second term in 2007. Balala served as Minister for Gender, Sports, Culture and Social Services between 2003 and June 2004. During his stint as minister, he is credited with spearheading the Gender Commission Bill that helped mainstream women issues. After the 2007 elections and as part of youth inclusion in cabinet, President Mwai Kibaki appointed Balala Minister for Tourism, aged 35 years, a position he held from the beginning of 2008 until March of 2012. As minister, Balala was tasked with reviving the tourism sector that had lost its flair owing to the 2007-2008 post-election chaos. He also oversaw the drafting and launch of both National Tourism Blueprint 2030 and National Wildlife Strategy. While heading the Ministry of National Heritage from June to November 2005, he is hailed for introducing the Antiques and Monuments Act 2006, which aimed at securing the country's cultural and archaeological resources, which had largely been in the hands of paleontologists that had helped discover it in the early 1900s. Earlier, Balala had served as the vice chairman of the Kenya Tourism Board and chairman of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry Mombasa chapter from 2000 to 2003. As the Mombasa mayor, Balala initiated programs to market the coastal city as a leading tourist destination. After the 2013 elections, Balala made his comeback to cabinet when he was appointed Minister for Mining in May 2013, and in 2015 was named Tourism Minister, a position he served until 2022. For the cabinet, I'm Ben Troy Njua.
Cabinet to the counties, and 3 suspected hackers were arraigned in a Makadara court with an offense of stealing and cybercrime.
The 3, Peter Kariuki Madhi, Isaac Mogo Kanini, and David Nganga Masharia, are said to have siphoned money from a complainant's account after stealing and using his mobile phone.
More of this from the counties.
The 3 suspects, whom police describe as notorious hackers, were arrested in their hideout in Ruiru after stealing 7 million shillings from their latest victim. They had stolen their victim's mobile phone after distracting him as he drove along Rescourse Road in Nairobi. Makadara Court Senior Principal Magistrate Paul Rotich, however, granted the police 10 days to finish investigations. The suspects are said to be operating several accounts, SIM cards and phone numbers.
The suspects before the court are innocent until proved guilty, and their liberty should not be deprived for unreasonably long time to facilitate.
Had several. There were also transfers which were done to encrypted Safaricom subscribed lines.
Elsewhere, residents of Hamesa area, Tana River County, are calling on the Anti-Corruption Commission to investigate claims of corruption in a water project financed by the Coast Water Development for 9.8 million shillings. The residents who cite poor workmanship in the project want it halted.
Sisi tunaomba zaidi serikali na waziri wafuatilie hii maneno, haswa watu anti-corruption. Waje wajue haki ya wale watu wako chini.
Sisi kitu tunataka permanent solution ambayo itasaidia hii jamii paka miaka 20 miaka 30 inayokuja. Hii tanki tunataka si hii prime tank, tunataka aluminium tank.
And Meru County is aiming to collect 1 billion shillings in revenue this financial year after witnessing a decline in the previous year when the county collected only 385 million shillings. According to the Meru County CEC member for Finance, Monica Kathono, the county has introduced a cashless payment system, a new technology aimed at simplifying revenue collection and reducing theft.
Our responsibility of ensuring they do the collection, because the county of Meru has a potential of 4 billion, we are told by the service provider. And right now we are at the range of 400 million. So we can be able to bridge this gap by working harder and smarter.
And finally, in Busia County, a section of area residents is calling on investigative agencies to probe yesterday's incident in which the president was hit while addressing a rally in Migori County.
Hata miaka ya kuchukua kiada kulinga mheshimiwa rais, hiyo ni makosa kubwa sana. Hiyo tunapin, tunataka tunataka DCI waingilie katikati, wafanye investigation, tuone wakina nani walipanga hiyo mikakati. Wale ambaye walirushia ama yule ambaye alirushia rais achukulie hatua mara moja, kwa sababu rais ni kiongozi na anaheshimika na inatakana aheshimiwe kila mahali ambaye anaenda.
We heard you. Tax amnesty is back. Kenya Revenue Authority is giving 100% relief on interest, penalties and fines for tax debts incurred up to 31st December 2023. Don't miss out. Take action now by settling your outstanding tax debt through easy-to-pay installments by 30th June 2025 and watch those penalties and fines for tax debts disappear. It's now or never to set your tax records right. Take advantage of the tax amnesty today. Terms and conditions apply. Kenya Revenue Authority. Tulipe ushuru tujitegemee.
Musa!
Ako wapi mwenda wazimu? Ako wapi?
Jemedari, chunga usivunje sheria tafadhali.
Lazima nimmalize leo.
Back to Prime Edition. Marakwet is coming up a little later on with the day's sports, but let's get down to business. Misconceptions
surrounding genetically modified organisms have significantly hindered their acceptance and adoption in Kenya.
The Ministry of Agriculture has urged the National Biosafety Authority to roll out public awareness campaigns on the safety of GMOs to improve uptake.
Frederick Moki with that story.
The government is seeking to leverage biotechnology to enhance food security and agricultural productivity. However, inadequate financial resources, unfavorable policy reorientation, and low public awareness on biosafety are among barriers that have plagued the sector. The National Biosafety Authority launched a 5-year strategy centered on financial resource mobilization and promoting transparency in biosafety regulations.
I realized there was inadequate awareness about what biotechnology is, what GMO is, what we do, how we ensure Kenyans are safe. But I'm happy that at least the presenter has shown us that we have a key result area that would be on public awareness. So I believe that should resolve the issue as we move forward.
The push for increased public awareness comes in the wake of a High Court ruling that dismissed a case challenging the government's decision to lift the ban on GMOs, affirming Kenya's robust legal and institutional framework for regulating biotechnology.
This is done with the view to ensuring the safety of human and animal health and the provision of adequate level of protection of environment. This is achieved through the application of both international and national standards on safety assessment.
The lifting on the ban of GMOs saw the introduction of biotech cotton, which was approved, and clinical trials for biotech maize and cassava, with market release pending regulatory approvals. Frederick Moki for Lunchtime News.
On to other developments tonight. Counties in the Western Kenya region should identify their top 3 value chains to be marketed to potential investors during an upcoming regional conference slated for mid this year.
That's right. Investment Cabinet Secretary Lee Kinyanjui says that the conference is among initiatives aimed at fast-tracking realization of the county aggregation and industrial parks by bringing on board the private sector.
Here is that report.
The country's manufacturing sector has been aligning with new global opportunities to boost economic resilience and competitiveness. The 4.7 billion shillings first phase of county aggregation and industrial parks is being implemented in 19 counties and is expected to boost value addition of agricultural produce as well as create over 20,000 jobs.
I think it's time we really come together. We look at whatever industry we can be able to build in our own little ways. Government is there to put resources. And for KDC, we have said we are funding. And I'm sure if government feels that Kenyans are ready to take up this money, we'll even increase allocation for funding for our industries.
The county aggregation and industrial parks are expected to stimulate the economies of devolved units by offering markets to agricultural produce and attract local and foreign investors.
We want when the investors come on site, you are able to at least to see the top 3 value chains, which we are partnering with Kenya Invest and also other private players, just to make sure that all the top 3 value chains are totally profiled through feasibility studies. And then, of course, that again is going to help us.
This was said during a briefing of an upcoming County Aggregation and Industrial Parks Investment Conference for the Western Kenya region, which will bring together investors and development partners to explore partnerships and unlock further investment opportunities. Sylvia Gatti, reporting for Prime Edition.
From industrialization to food systems, Kenya is among African countries seeking to streamline and harmonize policies and taxes to increase intra-food trade.
Food and Agriculture Organization country representative Nyabenyi Tipo says intra-Africa food trade will reduce Africa's food import bill through shared financing, data, and creating market linkages for small-scale farmers.
Benson Rioba reports.
Food system is a value chain. It's a chain right from the farm to the table. And you have to address them, all the challenges along the value chain. You have to start with the farm aspect. You have to come to the processing, the storage, reducing the post-harvest losses to the extent of when it goes to the table, or even when it goes to the table, you have to address other challenges along the way, including food safety, residues.
We see that Africa is putting a lot of emphasis in food systems, putting it as a priority, but the situation is not yet as we want it to be. This is why this regional meeting is discussing issues from financing to documenting progress, to how to engage the civil society, how to engage the private sector, how to make sure that we are looking at food system in a holistic approach that take into consideration all the impact on the environment.
For our dignity in Africa, we need to feed ourselves. We go back to generations before us. They fed themselves. And so we need to keep that dignity around us as well as grow up our next workforce that will be able to stand the pressure from outside Africa.
From that story compiled by Benson Rioba to Digitizing Insurance.
And that's right, insurance should enhance incorporation of machine learning, data analytics, and other technologies in their operations. Why? To automate processes, to personalize products, and also better predict and manage risks.
Policyholders Compensation Fund Chairperson Simon Mboya says this will help in early identification of fraudulent claims, avoid some potential losses, and improving operations. Ndutamakami with that report.
Calls have intensified in recent years about the need by underwriters to incorporate artificial intelligence and cloud technology as a means to increase insurance uptake, as well as enhancing the overall efficiency in service delivery.
You will think, why was I doing this? Why did I buy this insurance policy? Why did I just keep my money and take the risks myself? But of course, insurance, being a risk transfer mechanism, provides a lot of benefits, but albeit there are risks.
Mboya is calling on insurance firms to explore strategic partnerships in order to meet compliance requirements.
Let us collaborate to build insurance systems that not only recover from failure, but thrive it beyond, fostering confidence and prosperity across Africa.
The Policyholders Compensation Fund which is currently compensating customers of 4 liquidated insurance companies, is calling on any affected person or companies to lodge their claim. Ndutamo Kami for Prime Edition.
Vandalism of manhole covers is undermining sewer waste management efforts.
Athi Water Works Development Agency Deputy Director of Sewerage Works Infrastructure Development Engineer James Muturi says that the rampant theft and misuse of manholes is a major obstacle to the ongoing upgrade efforts to raise Nairobi's sewer coverage from 48% all the way to 55% due to solid waste infiltration at the Dandora Wastewater Treatment Plant, which processes over 80% of Nairobi's wastewater.
Treatment works for Nairobi Water Company. It actually serves over 80% of the sewer collected within Nairobi. We have 2 inlet channels at the inlet works, where we have the first process for treatment, which involves the physical treatment of the wastewater, and before it proceeds for the biological treatment.
We have a total of 23 anaerobic ponds. We also have 9 facultative ponds, and now 3 times 9, that's 27 maturation ponds. And the plant targets to achieve the NEMA stated guidelines of reducing their BOD levels to 30 milligrams per liter, as stipulated in the MCA guidelines.
So NASIP 2 program is around 90% complete. We still have some components that are ongoing. We are still connecting more people to the system. We have actually completed the inlet works, and they are working the way they were designed to work. We have also completed dislodging of all the ponds. There is a lot of vandalism of manhole covers, where we have finished the network and the manholes have been completed, but then the covers are vandalized by people. They are a very expensive installation done by government using government resources, and when someone vandalizes it and probably wants a short-term gain for it, we end up losing a lot in terms of replacing of those covers and also maintaining the system.
And that does it for the day's business. Coming up,
the sports news with Karen Kibet, if you like, Marakwet Express. Karen, good evening.
Say the earth without art would just be, get it? We circumnavigate the globe and traverse the local scene to bring you art and culture at their very best. From fine art, culinary art, performing arts, and even cultural events, you name it, and we have got you covered. My name is Kevin Kasioki, and I will be serving you this and much, much more each and every Friday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
A very good evening to you. I do hope you're holding up well. My name is Karen Kibet. Let's now take a look at what's making headlines in the world of sports. Now, Kenya's Rising Stars suffered an unexpected loss in their second Group B match of the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations to Tunisia before they were below par in performance and slow in reaction. According to assistant coach Anthony Hahulia, Rising Stars lost their second game 3-1 on Sunday night, just 3 days after suffering a 3-2 loss to Morocco in their opening game at the 30th June at the 30th June Stadium in Egypt.
Kenya under-20 side Rising Stars must reinforce their defensive line before facing Nigeria in their third and final Pool B match at the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt. Rising Stars have conceded 3 goals in both the 2 matches they have played so far at the tournament against Morocco and Tunisia, and assistant coach Anthony Ahulia believes his backline is a worry because his defense was rotated for the second game and still conceded 3 times.
We've conceded first match we did 3-2. We tried changing the defense line again. Again, we've conceded 3 goals. It's a team problem. You can't single out individuals. It's a team problem. I think this is something that we have to work on before we face our next opponent, our last match in the group. It's a concern for us, the technical staff. We will do our best so that in our next match we don't concede the way we are conceding goals.
Ahulia has also acknowledged the mishaps in his midfield, especially against Tunisia, who controlled the game despite trailing in the first half of the game.
On our side, I think we didn't play well. Comparing this match to our first match, we were a bit slow in our movement. Our midfield didn't click that much.
Prior to the Africa Cup of Nations, Rising Stars played a friendly game against Ghana, and despite scoring twice, they also conceded twice in the 2-2 draw. In 3 matches, they have conceded 8 goals and scored just 5, a worrying statistic going into the game against Nigeria, who are considered favourites to win the continental crown, although Nigeria have just scored 1 goal in the tournament and conceded none in the 2 games they have played so far.
All players are the same level. So as you see, the man of the match of today, he wasn't in the lineup for the last match. So everyone is a good player, and it's not coming to the coach. It's the player itself. They are very good players.
Moving on, the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife, Rebecca Miano, has pledged her support to Kenya's women rally drivers who have made the country proud, especially during the WRC Safari Rally Kenya. The drivers, led by Pauline Shegu and Caroline Gatimu, met with the Cabinet Secretary today as they celebrated their exemplary performance during the 2025 WRC Safari Rally Kenya, held in March in Naivasha. The Cabinet Secretary said the ladies' courage, determination and passion continued to break barriers in motorsport, proving that Kenyan women are not just participants but champions in male-dominated sports. She commended the support they have received from the Kenyan government, led by President William Ruto, since 2023, saying that she will stand with them as they continue to make history and inspire the next generation of young female drivers. The national men's rugby team, Shujaa, will take part in the Division 2 of the IRB World Rugby 7 Series next season after defeating Canada 24-5 during the relegation and promotion playoff in Los Angeles, USA. Heading into the Los Angeles Sevens, Shujaa was keen on fighting to retain their core status, but that was made impossible after the International Rugby Board, IRB, announced changes to the formation of the series beginning next season, following the introduction of 2 new tiers, Division 1 and Division 2. After losing to the Samoa in the opening Group A match, Kenya bounced back to beat Portugal 26-14 before losing to hosts USA 17-12 to set up the Division 2 playoff final against Canada. Meanwhile, the national women's team, Kenya Lionesses, also clinched a ticket in next year's Division 2 after registering a 17-14 win against South Africa in the playoff final. At the same time, New Zealand women and South Africa men were crowned HSBC World Rugby 7 Series champions after securing victories against Spain and Australia respectively. South Africa beat Spain 19-5, while New Zealand saw off Australia 31-7.
Try-saving tackle, Frecio Odim streaks away in front of Kenya corner to get the man right back into it. And that young lady is one of the fastest
most devastating players on this Kenyan squad. They know what to do. They're just moving it into the hands of their speed as Okur receives and steps back in.
Now, a total of 11 non-title boxing bouts are scheduled to take place on the 24th of May at Charter Hall, Nairobi. Now, according to the organizers of the event, the matches will consist of both the male and female categories, all competing for glory in the fights that meant to show up the vibrancy in the local pro boxing scene. The boxers will be drawn from Kenya, Uganda, Sweden and Malawi. The fights, organized by Uganda-based 12-round boxing promotions, is intended to promote boxing in the region.
I'd like to promise you on 24th May in Charter Hall, it's going to be fire, it's going to be a showcase, and we're bringing all the talent as boxers which we got. And I promise my opponent, because I've been a champion, I know I'm a champion, and my goal is to become the undisputed world champion with the WBC belt on my shoulders. So I promise the opponent to come ready, to come prepared, because this is not human coming.
I promise my opponent, who's called the Mr. Mzee, I'm going to fight you and I'm going to break you as my name Break. So all fans from Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania and all other countries, come and see this fight and be witness that I'm going to win.
Because I'm Fever from Uganda, Fever Omusuja in Uganda. I'm going to punish him. When he come fighting, I'll box him. When he come boxing, I'll fight him.
This particular fight does not have any title fights. This particular fight night of 24th is not going to have any title fight. But come rain, come shine, this is the start. Yeah, you have something to say to
And those are all the sports stories we had for you tonight. I'll see you tomorrow with more sports news. But for now, I hand you back to my colleagues Mboya and Muchuma Odim. Good night. My name is Karen Kibet.
Thank you, Margaret. Before we go,
quick acknowledgements. Vashti Sulungai, watching KBC Channel 1 from Bungoma. You're also calling yourself Warrior the Goddess. We also have Dixon Ayeko, watching KBC, as well as Bernard Ndumia, Felix Talam, and Kennedy Juma.
Well, that concludes Prime Edition tonight, backed by the newsroom team. Thank you so much for inviting us to your homes and for choosing us as your voice. My name is Mboya. Good night from Nairobi, Kenya.
I am Muchuma Odim. Our sign language expert tonight is Anon Geshi. Thank you for your company. Thank you for your feedback. Good night.
See you tomorrow again.
Ako wapi mwenda wazimu? Ako wapi?
Jemedari, chunga usivunje sheria tafadhali.
Lazima nimmalize leo.
Join me on a journey as we unlock the secrets
of a healthier and vibrant you. We'll also share real-life stories of courage and resilience.
From the waist down, I felt like I was paralyzed. The pain was too much, and I never used to eat when I'm on my menses.
Tangu hiyo ugonjwa nishike, nimeharibu vitu zangu mingi ili nipone, lakini sasa hakuna kupona.
And experts interviews shedding light on various conditions and treatments. Surgery seems to be the only option for women suffering from endometriosis.
You feel something is wrong in my stomach or in my intestine or at the back. Don't just ignore it.
So you're talking of bowel, bladder, ureter, kidneys, so you have to be very careful.
Plus, we provide practical health tips for living a healthy lifestyle, no matter what challenges you may face. Only on KBC Channel 1.